Hi everyone, just out riding, enjoying the day, South Georgia, having some fun, taking it easy. I was watching a vlog this morning that Shawn Smoak did where he's having trouble with one of his GoPros, his Hero 3 Plus, which I think is his favorite all-around camera. I think he likes his 4 GoPro better in terms of some of the functionality and maybe the quality of the video, but his 3's always been his go-to camera, and it seems like it always worked. It always the battery lasted longer, and he did most of his vlogs with it. But he was telling everybody, he said that it died on him. It's got a micro, I think he said a micro USB port that he uses, that he has to use for his microphone, and I'm assuming that it also charges through that port. I don't know anything really about the GoPro. I've never owned one. GoPros for me are like Harleys. I don't have anything against them, but I've never owned one, so I don't know anything about them. So anyway, what I use is the Ghost, well, to get it right here, I always say Ghost HD. It's actually the HD Ghost camera by Drift, and it's a good camera. I've always liked it. I mean, it's the only thing I've ever used other than I used a Panasonic action camera for just a couple of early videos, but it doesn't have a provision for the microphone, external microphone, so it really wasn't very useful as a vlogging camera. It was just not good. So I broke down and bought one of the Drifts. They're not the cheapest cameras in the world. I think they're a little cheaper than the GoPro. I think they rate in there somewhere maybe with the Sony Action Cam as far as price, but it's the easiest camera I've ever used in my life. It has a little screen built into it, so you can, see what the camera sees. You can also Bluetooth it to your telephone so you can see how the shot is framed up. You can operate it with your telephone as far as turning it off and on to record and all that. But I went ahead and bought this remote for it, which is excellent. It's only 2 buttons, start and stop. It does allow me to change modes. I can change it to picture only, time lapse, and there's one other one, but I never use those. I only use it for the record mode, for just recording videos and vlogs. It has been a excellent camera. I've had very few problems with it. I did have a remote. I got a second one when I decided I was going to get serious about this as a hobby. I decided to get a second camera just in case, and on some of the longer rides where I have a lot invested in getting somewhere, in case I had a problem with the remote or with the camera, I didn't want to be, out of luck. And as it turned out, the second camera I got, when I went to set it up, the remote control, oh, here we go. The remote control would not link up with the camera. And I tried everything. I even called Drift and got online with them and talked to some people there, and they walked me through reinitializing it, and for some reason it just wouldn't work. We never did quite figure it out. So I got another one to replace it. It linked up the very first time I tried. It took me maybe 2 minutes to get it linked up to work with the second camera. Now there is a way to make one remote talk to both cameras, but I'm a simple guy and I'm a little technologically challenged, and again, that would be putting all my eggs in one remote's basket, so to speak. So whenever I have the second camera, you'll see the second remote, but I don't have it with me today because I'm not that far from the house, and in terms of an effort, this is just a little day trip, and just gonna have some fun and do this for a while. So didn't feel like I needed to bring the second one. this battery runs for hours. I don't know how long to tell you the drift camera battery will last on a cool day like today. I just don't know, but I mean, I have to do some pretty serious riding to kill the battery. I do take extras with me usually. I didn't bring one today because, again, I'm just riding for fun, and I just thought I'd put just a few little bits of video together for this. I highly recommend the Ghost. To compare it to the problem that Shawn has had, mine uses a mini USB plug only for charging, and it also will, you use it to upload your videos with it, but the microphone has a separate port, and it uses one of those 3.5 single male plug-ins that you find on most microphones. It's not a stereo mic, so it only has 2 wires going to it. I also use the Ghost mic. It's an excellent microphone, and I know a lot of guys who use, I think at one time Shawn may have even tried it. He uses an adapter with it to adapt it to the GoPro, but this plugs directly into the camera from behind, and again, it works really, really well. Again, haven't had any real problems with it. I don't know much about the Sony camera or any of the others. What is it? The Ion camera appears to be identical to the Panasonic, maybe with a few little upgrades on it, and it might be a real good one too. I do like one thing about the Drift. It's really made for like the side of your helmet. It's more streamlined than the GoPro. I see lots of people with these 90-degree arms that come off of their helmets. A woman wolf rider has one of those where she has her GoPro up there, and it seems like to me, knowing how I am, I'd be knocking it off the helmet all the time, or banging it, or wouldn't get the angle right. The Drift is not all that great as a chin mount unless you do a little bit of modification like I did, and mine's worked real well. The modification I have, I've got it fixed mounted. It mounts the same angle every time, so I don't have to worry about the angle on it. If you look at one video with the chin mount, as long as I'm not wearing my full face helmet, every angle will be the same on them, and hopefully it'll be something that you can see exactly what I want you to see. Okay, anyway, gonna hit another little stretch of decent road here, so I'll wind this up on the Ghost. I wish Shawn lots of luck on coming up with something else. He's got to go back to his 4, and he's been having a lot of problem with the 4 in terms of it'll get bright, it'll get dark. It'll get, like right here, it might be dark, or it would flash, dark and light, and just not working out for him very well. So, but we'll see how it goes. Hope he can come up with something. Maybe he'll get another 3+, and go with that again. But I wish him well, and Shawn, I know you got a lot invested in the Ghosts, and I know that the Drift here will not give you the quality of the video that you really want, but thinking you might want to get one just to put aside somewhere for a spare emergency camera. Throw it in your backpack, keep it charged up, because if nothing else, it will work for a half-ass vlog like this one. All right, you guys take care. We'll see you again. Bye-bye.